Chairs No Waiting, episode number 366. Neal Brower interviews Morgan Brittany, 2011, part 2. Long title. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at Weaver's Department Store. Drop by over at Weaver's. They got some brand new stuff. Well, it's not new sizes. They got toddler size t-shirts. If you get an Aw Paw t-shirt with Opie on it, or you can get the Nip It in the Bud t-shirt with Barney and let your little ones wear it. Toddler sizes. So head over there and check it out at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners just like you. The executive producer of number 367 is Scott Hopkins. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. And thank you for joining me here on Two Chairs No Waiting. It's always great to have you here with me and spend some time and we can talk about the Andy Griffith Show, our favorite show ever, at least mine, and I'm sure it's yours or you wouldn't be here. So tonight we're going to be continuing our series with Morgan Brittany and Neal Brower from 2011. Know you're going to enjoy this. It was great stuff. So I got some pictures I want to share with you. Sarah Blaine, one of our listeners, sent these in. So here's Morgan from 2016 at Mayberry Days, or 15, not 16, 2015 Mayberry Days. She was there in the parade. This is, I believe, in the parade, I'm pretty sure. And here is a picture of Sarah with Morgan. So, Sarah, thank you for sending me those pictures to share with everybody here on the podcast. So, I guess people listening to the audio podcast, you're going, what pictures? What pictures? I'll post these on our Facebook page so you can see them. All right. So, you can go over to facebook.com/2chairs and see the pictures there. All right, folks, again, we're going to be joining Neal Brower. We're going to go to this thing, get it started, because it's a fairly long interview, and I know you're going to enjoy this. So let's head over. This is at the Earl Cinema with Neal Brower and Morgan Brittany from Mayberry Days 2011. So this is part 2 of the video. So let's head over and check it out. Take it away, Neal. Oh, I believe we start with a question on this one.
Those of you that worked in Hollywood and worked in the industry, did you understand anything about the wonderful mystique, the feelings, the love that Andy Griffith Show and shows like that produced? When you walked on the set, was it just work or was it anything special about it? Did you know you're in the middle of something great? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, honestly, we didn't know back then. Most of the time when you do a show back then, it was just a show that was picked up for, how many episodes, and people just went in and did their job and tried to do the best job they could do. None of us ever really knew how much of an impact these shows would have. I think had we known that, we would have been a little more, oh my gosh, I've really got to be good on this. But everybody took such pride in their work. I mean, the whole studio system in Hollywood was very, very different in this era than it is now. Completely different. I mean, the work ethic was different, everything. But everyone seemed to be very professional, and they did it as a job. It wasn't just about money. If you did a show and you committed to a show, you didn't walk out of the show, a year into it and say, I want $1 million an episode, which is what they do now. So it was different. I just remember loving it every time I got the call that somebody would say, oh, next week you're going to do Lassie, week after that you're going to do Twilight Zone. It was great because I loved what I did. And I'm so fortunate, like I said, to be a part of history like this. I hadn't seen that show since it first aired. I hadn't seen it on DVD or anything. And I completely forgot about a lot of it. And it brings back so many wonderful memories. And it's great. And everybody that loves these shows, that there's something that connects everybody, all of us together because of these shows. And it's great to be a part of it, even if it was just one episode.
Anyone else have a question?
I wonder, I understand that they're going, here I am.
Oh, there you are.
That they're going to do Dallas next fall. Can you imagine how this is going to work? I mean, do you know anything about it?
You know, I've been doing a lot of interviews with magazines and fan sites on Dallas because they want to get some of the reaction from the original cast. And I only hope that they do it right. I only hope, because the show was such a monumental hit all over the world, and I just don't want to. I don't want to see them cheapen it or do things that I don't know. I don't know who the new producers are. That we had such a great core of writers and producers and people that really cared about that whole show. I can only hope for the best, you know. I know they're bringing back Larry Hagman, Linda Gray, and Patrick Duffy for a few episodes. I don't know that they'll be in all of them, but I know they'll be in some. But let's just hope that they do right by it. Sometimes the sequels are not that great, you know, and I'm just hoping for the best.
One right here.
Thank you for being here.
Sure.
Thank you for your conservative postures.
Oh, thanks.
Have you run into Ron Howard and explained to him that he should be far more conservative in his feelings?
You know, I tell you, I'm pretty much. There's a lot of people that have different views from conservative views, and in Hollywood, a lot of people think a lot differently. But as long as you can have a dialogue and you can talk to people and you can discuss the issues and they don't walk out on you or they don't yell at you or tell you you're an idiot, I have no problem with that. And I think Ron is one of those people that he has certain views, but he's not mean about it. He's not nasty about it. Some of these Hollywood people are. They really are. They don't want to work with you. They don't want to talk to you. They have absolutely no use for you at all, and they think you're an idiot. And I don't believe Ron's that way. There's a few really, really good, I would call them more on the liberal side, and they're great people. They truly are. Yes, they may have different views than I do, but that's not a problem. I mean, that's absolutely not a problem. If we can have a dialogue and we've got a different point of view, that's what it's all about, and that's what makes this country great.
You go to conventions, different conventions, shows that you've done. Have you seen a group like this before?
Not really, no.
Because we started coming here in 2008, and I just fell in love with these people. These are my people, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that's why we keep coming back, because there's something very special about this area and about everybody that I've talked to with Alan, you know, and what he's doing now, added on to the podcast. Right. And the people are there's just a totally different kind of people here. Well,
you're absolutely right. There is. And I knew that because I've been getting the newsletter, you know, for years. And I've always thought in the back of my mind, wow, I would really love to go to that someday. I would really like to be a part of that someday, because I knew that it would be my kind of people, you know, people that would be, I don't know, receptive to me. I'd feel comfortable here. Sometimes I feel like a fish out of water in California. I really do. I don't feel like I belong there, that I don't think like they do. And I need the connection with real people, you know. And I just made up my mind when my husband got this movie in Atlanta. And I contacted Tanya and I said, you know, I'm going to be in the area and I would love to come by and say hello. And she was just thrilled. We talked about it. And I just have a connection. I really do. And I know it sounds funny. I don't know anybody, never met anybody before, but there is a connection there. And I have never felt more comfortable in my life. I do a lot of Twilight Zone conventions, mostly in back in the Northeast. And that's a whole another different group of people, the sci-fi people, the birds people and the Star Trek people, and it's a lot different. But another group of people that's very I connect are the Dukes of Hazzard people. Yeah, I have the best time, because my husband was the driver on Dukes. He drove the General Lee, and so we do a lot of that stuff. And I don't know. There's just a real connection. Maybe it's because my roots are from here. My mom is from Chattanooga. My family had a place in Hickory. My roots are really here, but I never grew up here. And maybe that's what it is. I just feel really comfortable. I do. Thank you.
When you're in Mount Airy from Mayberry Day, it's your family anyway, so that's the way it all is for everybody. You're just part of the group.
Right.
I've heard different actors and singers and stuff say that when they see their own work, they're like, hey, can't believe people keep wanting me to sing. Do you ever feel that way about your own work? When you look at it, you're like, maybe I should have done that differently, or like, wow, I did really good there. Do you ever look back at stuff and see that?
You always do. You always look at it. If I look at it immediately, like let's say I do a show and it airs, I always go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Oh, look, that's terrible. But if I look at it like years later, it's not. It softens up a little bit. You think, yeah, that was okay. That was pretty good. I don't really like to watch my stuff, what I do. I kind of get a little bit uncomfortable with it, but I do learn a lot. And as a younger actor, I used to look for my mistakes and try not to make them again. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I look at Gypsy, and I didn't realize what a good dancer I was. I look at that now and I think, whoa, how did I do that? Just splits and kicks and all this stuff. And then I think, well, okay, that was 10 weeks worth of rehearsal, 8 hours a day, no wonder. But yeah, sometimes you look back at it and you think, yeah, okay, that was pretty good. Pretty good.
I have one question. It's kind of very inside Mayberry, but most of this audience will know that the actress who played Iris in that episode was Joy Ellison,
right? Yeah.
Who was Opie's first girlfriend, the first season, Mary Wiggins, and she was absent from the show for like 6 years, and then she came back for first time when you were on there.
Right.
Have you ever run into? She's now a dialect coach in Hollywood.
Yes, she is.
Prominent. And I don't know if you ever run into her since then, or.
I haven't run into her, but my daughter's an actress, and she actually had to do a Swedish accent for a show, and I looked up Joy because I was going to send Katie to her and just say, hey, Katie, we did Andy Griffith's show together. If you really want to learn dialect, you should go to her. I haven't, but I honestly, has she ever come back here for any of these?
She hasn't been to Mayberry Days, but she went to, we had an event in Birmingham back in 2000, and she attended that. And Sheldon Collins was there, too. Or Sheldon Collins.
Right, yeah.
They both were there for that. That's the only one that she's been able to do so far. But
yeah, I would love to see her again. She was such a sweet girl, and we hung out for that whole week. It was great. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, she's been doing dialect work for 25 years or more. She's
really good at it too, from what I understand.
Yeah, she does Antonio Banderas and people like that.
Right,
she's
right.
At the top level of.
She's made an incredible career for herself doing that, because that's very difficult. We all know bad accents, don't we? We know it when we hear it. And sometimes the movies, they don't have a good dialogue coach, and you can tell right away. But Joy, she's got a really good reputation. And you said Sheldon was
he's a dentist in Colorado, yeah.
Wow.
So he gave up acting shortly after. He's one of those ones that didn't. And he always knew that he didn't want to be an actor forever. He had always planned to go into a different career. So
right.
I guess he can see the writing on the wall, I guess, for himself.
Well, a lot of kids back then were pushed into the business by their parents. They really didn't want to be there. A lot of the kids, they just did it because that's what they were told they had to do. And I think as soon as they were able to walk away from it, they did. I see that, I see that a lot with child actors. They really did not want to be there. I don't know whether that was the case with Sheldon or not, but it was with a few of the people that I knew that were on TV shows that just dreaded going to work every day. They just did not like it and did not want to be there. And it was, I could never understand that because I loved it. But, there are kids that literally their parents said, you're going to do this, whether you like it or not. And they ran away from it.
Yeah, I think if I remember, Sheldon said he didn't really dislike it, but he always just knew this is what I'm doing as a kid, but I want to do something else when I'm older. For him, it just he wanted to, I guess, extract teeth or whatever he does now.
Yeah,
fill cavities. But anyway, he's a really nice guy, and he really enjoyed coming to the Mayberry events, and maybe we can get you and Joy together at one of these sometime. Y'all can.
That would be great. That would be great. I would love that. That would be awesome.
Any other questions? Got one more.
Actually, mine's more of a statement as opposed to a question.
Okay.
I think everyone here would think the same way I do. If you look up the word beautiful in a dictionary, your picture should be there as an illustration.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you. Golly, thanks.
I was just going to ask, being a child actor, the guys, the younger, good-looking guys, which ones did you have a crush on?
Oh, let me see. Who did I have a crush on? I'm trying to think. Well, a friend of mine now was Paul Peterson from the Donna Reed show. I had a crush on Paul. I guess maybe it was because of his singing. I don't know what it was. There were a couple of them. I worked with, I'm trying to think here, Stan Livingston and Don Grady from My Three Sons, and I think I had a big crush on Don Grady. And then, of course, when I did Yours, Mine, and Ours, I was absolutely head over heels in love with Tim Matheson, even though he was way older than me. But I'd go to work every day and say, he's your brother, he's your brother, he's your brother.
Well, I think her real question was, did you have a crush on Ron Howard?
Did I have a crush on Ron? I didn't have a chance to be with him that much. We got along great, though. It was really fun. I mean, Ron was really fun. We had school together. We both struggled with math. It was typical. But it was great, yeah. I had fun with Ron. He was great. I wish I could have worked with him later on, I know I was up for a couple of his movies, his earlier movies. I think, did he do a movie called, I want to say, Grand Theft Auto? Or
very early, yeah.
Did he? Very early on? I think I was up for a role in that, and I got really close to getting it. And it's funny, I think about the movies that I came close to getting and didn't get, and it's like some of them I'm glad I didn't get. It didn't work out so well. Like there's one called 9.5 Weeks. I don't know if you guys remember that. I just kind of backed away and went, I don't think so. This is not my kind of movie.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Not that I've seen it, or
yeah,
or not.
Pretty racy.
Any other
for
questions?
1980.
I think Kim Basinger got that part, maybe?
Yes, she did. And you know what? We were at the Academy Awards one night, and Kim and I were standing outside the ladies' room, and we were talking about kids and everything. And she said, you know what? I only have one regret. And I said, what's that? And she goes, I have a daughter, and someday she's going to see that movie. And I said, yeah. And she said, it never goes away. I said, you're right. It never goes away. It'll be there forever. It's what we all got to worry about now with the internet and everything else. Anything. It's like, it's there. So you got to be so careful.
Mary Alice Carter will always be there, too. So that's
right. That's right.
Growing up in the 60s, I had three icons of early television I loved. Andy Griffith, Red Skelton, and Lucille Ball.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like working with Lucy?
Lucy was way different than I thought she was going to be. for one thing, when I went in on the audition for Yours, Mine, and Ours, I knew she was going to be there because I had to do a screen test, and I was waiting, for Lucy to come in. Well, Lucy didn't come in. It was a lady that was dressed in men's clothes and a hat, like a taxi driver's hat, no makeup on, and she goes, "Hey kid, how you doing?" And I'm like, okay, this isn't the Lucy I know. She was one of the most professional people I think I've ever worked with. Outside of Rosalind Russell, who, bar none, was just incredible. I mean, the woman, she was so spot on with everything. It was amazing to work with her. But Lucy knew everybody's job. Lucy was in control of that set from the minute she walked on in the morning to the minute she left. She knew camera, direction, lighting, wardrobe, everything. And all 18 of us, the kids, we towed the line every single day. There was no messing around. You did your job. If you were 3, you were expected to perform as a professional. And if you didn't, Lucy let you know. So, you learn discipline from someone like that. I respect her. I admire her. I think she is a comic genius, but very, very tough. She and Gene Kelly were the 2 people that I was probably the most afraid of, that I didn't want to mess up. Especially, Gene Kelly as a dancer, I was so terrified that I was going to mess up, But just amazing, amazing people. And working today, I don't see that anymore. I don't see the discipline. I don't see any of that in Hollywood that much anymore. It's a lot more temperament. It's a lot more about, what kind of an image you're going to have. Hollywood is so different now. It's like my husband's doing a film, and it's all going to be green screen, where they put sensors on your face, and they put you in a box, and everything's, blank around you, and you have to react to nothing. It's very different. It's very different. Henry Fonda, just to tell you the difference, I had to do a scene with Henry Fonda, and his workday was over on Yours, Mine, and Ours, and they needed to get him off the clock to go home. Well, it was my close-up, and they were going to turn around and get the reverse on me. And the AD came over and said, "Henry, you can sign out." And he said, No, she has a close-up to do, right? And I said, "Yeah, but we have to get you off the clock." He said, "Take me off the clock. I'm going to be here for her." Now that, to me, was, you wouldn't see that today. You would not see that today. They'd be out the door, gone. And that was the difference. And I will never forget that. That was a giving, wonderful actor that wanted the best for everybody, wanted the movie to be the best it could be. And so he wanted to give back, which is amazing. We've lost a lot of that in Hollywood today. We really have.
Wow, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this so much. I realize a lot of what she's talking about is not the Andy Griffith Show, but if you're like me, you love all the old classic TV and movies. And wow, has Morgan Brittany been in a lot of classic television and movies, and worked with all these actors. Henry Fonda, talking about, wow. I didn't realize her husband was the driver, the stunt driver. I knew he was a stunt driver, but I didn't realize he had driven the General Lee. I didn't know that. I'd forgotten that. So I love doing these podcasts because I was there. I heard these things, but I don't even remember. So it's always good to hear them over and over and over, and maybe eventually I'll remember them. And plus, we got them recorded right here, so we can go back and listen later to refresh our memories if we want to. I just have really enjoyed this. We've got some more with her coming up next episode. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I have, and will join us again. Now, if you like old classic TV and classic movies, I've been listening to a podcast. It's just started. It's only done 7, maybe 8 episodes now of the podcast, and it's called TV Classics Podcast. And they've asked me to be on the show to talk about the Andy Griffith Show. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. Their latest episode was about Three's Company that just came out. They've done them on Cheers, Frasier, Happy Days, Cheyenne, if you remember the old Western, The Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, and Sanford and Son. Those are the 8 episodes they've done. And I'll put a link in the show notes to this podcast because it's pretty fun to listen to. They talk about an episode of the or talk about the series as a whole. So they're using each episode of their podcast to talk about a series. So if you're enjoying what Morgan's talking about with just all kinds of information about different shows and things, and you enjoy this show, you might very well enjoy that podcast. I've really been enjoying it. And I'm glad to see another classic TV podcast out there because there's not very many. There's basically this one. And from classic TV, of course, I think of older TV, but they've done newer shows like Three's Company. I guess it shows my age. That's not old. It's only, 30 years old or something. I guess it is old. I guess that is classic TV. So anyway, you might want to go and check those guys out. They're doing a great job. Steve and the Greek is who he goes by. So hopefully I'll be on there soon and talking about the Andy Griffith Show. I want to thank them for inviting me. And folks, you can go and check it out. It's tvclassics.podbean.com. You can go there. I'm going to have to get them a real website. I need to talk to Steve. All right, guys. Until then, I hope to hear from you guys. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415. You can drop me a line at twochairsnowaiting.com. You just go there, leave a message on any of the comments you want to, or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com. Love to hear from you. So until next time, folks, head over to Weaver's and buy something. And tell Mr. Weaver I said hey. And we'll see you next time right here in Mayberry on Two Chairs No Waiting. Good night.